we're moving right along. We're trying to get some stuff under control. We have, you know, so many people have friends. You know, Packard International is about cars, but it's also about family. You know, the Whiteners are sitting in the back, and you know, Gary and Patty, we've known them for years, and when we had gone to Pebble Beach, and we've been so many places with them, although I haven't been on their yacht for 6 months, because I don't have that kind of time. So Gary does. But in the meantime, while we're thinking about how we become friends with Gary to get invited, I want to introduce you to Marianne Porinchak. She is what has helped keep the dream alive for all of us. So when we're talking about Packards and Packard lore, I will have to tell you, as I said, the psychiatrist, I can actually give it a name. So when I'm down and I don't understand and I call my psychiatrist, well, that psychiatrist is Marianne Porinchak in Warren, Ohio. And she talks me off the ladder. So when you have a few bucks, when you're thinking that you want to give to a charity, and you want to do something like the City of Hope, who wouldn't even miss your $1 million, you wind up giving it to Marianne, and she'll make sure that she keeps your dream alive. So she's here, she flew out here, her bodyguard Rick takes care of everything she needs. Let me again introduce the famous Marianne Porinchak.
How in the world do you follow that introduction? I do not have my psychiatry hat on today, Robert, so we'll have to talk later. But I never tire of talking to Packard owners, enthusiasts, and supporters. And Robert and this entire club is so important to the National Packard Museum. We are on the East Coast, Northeast Ohio. Actually, it's not East Coast, it's Midwest. But way east from you. But your support keeps that museum alive. It gives us the ability to tell those Packard stories, to keep pulling more and more chapters of Packard history out into the open so that the next generation can learn about the incredible history of this automobile and this family that started it all right in Warren, Ohio. If you don't know, Warren, Ohio is the birthplace of the Packard Museum. That's why we have a national museum there. It's the birthplace. It's where it all started. And all of you help us keep going with that. We have grown substantially over the last 24 years since that museum opened in 1999. Just a little question. I was talking to some people earlier. How many of you were in the 99 show? How many were there? Still a good fair amount. We still talk about that, but we're at a point now where we have to start telling the next generation about that show because it was an historic event. And that's what we do. We keep telling these stories, we keep embracing new and younger audiences. As you know, there are people that are not here tonight for an obvious reason. And next year there may be more people who are not here. But the people that will sit in those seats will be younger. They will be people that need to know this history, that need to know what happened in Warren, Ohio, and why these beautiful cars exist at the San Marino show. And I can't tell you how much we appreciate you taking your cars out. Having them parked out there, showing the public, going to big shows like the San Marino show. Very, very important that you do that, because without doing that, people won't even have that thought of, hey, I should go to the museum and find out about this history. It takes a collective partnership to do this. We can't do it alone. We need those boots on the ground. We need you to help us keep telling this story, keeping this legacy alive, and we need your financial support to do it. I have a lot of volunteers back in Warren that help us keep that museum running, but you are very much important, just like our in-kind donors and our volunteers. You keep that museum running because you help us by donating to the museum. And this club, thank you, Robert, for always giving me a platform to speak my mind here, because it's important. We love you guys, it's family, and you're right, Robert, this is family. When I come out here, I meet new people, I have constant supporters, I recognize names and faces year after year, and all of you very much support this museum, and I hope you continue to do it because we have big things coming in the future. We're excited about it, and the museum's going to continue to grow. I tell people I go in there in the morning and I just strap in and hang on because that museum has a life of its own, and it has that life because of all of you. So thank you for embracing us, for helping us, for having that wonderful auction last night to raise money. And please, keep us in mind, because my singular goal from now for the next 5 years is to build that endowment for the museum. So the next director doesn't have to raise $250,000 a year to make it run, so that we have something that will feed revenue into the operation so that we can continue our work beyond the current administration. So with that in mind, enjoy the rest of this meet. I know I'm going to be talking to some of you, and thank you for giving me this opportunity.
That's Mary Ann Porinchak, and let me tell you,